Welcome to Leadership Magazine Review. My name is Jimmy Odoki Acellam. I am a freelance writer with the Leadership Magazine Review. I started writing with the Leadership Magazine in 2021, and I was introduced to Leadership Magazine to begin writing. I was introduced by Angela Izama, a veteran journalist, but I'd read about Leadership Magazine before, and it's a magazine I always looked up to. Many people may think that because Leadership Magazine is run by the Comboni missionaries, it therefore focuses only on religious affairs. I'm here to tell you more, the other side of Leadership Magazine. To begin with, my first article was about the 2021 election, the battle for top leadership in Uganda in 2021. I was so excited when I was assigned to write that article, and it came out during the election, the period of campaigns, and that shows that Leadership Magazine cares about political leadership. It's not only church leadership, but Leadership Magazine also covers other issues of social nature. You know, it does society. Leadership Magazine focuses on sports, entertainment as well. I have written about some musicians, especially from the Acholi region. I've written about Tempera Omona. Most of you may know him. He was one of the people introduced who were the leading lights in the entertainment music industry in Uganda. We've covered him. We've covered Pretty B. She's an artist, Ngulu. Pretty exciting writing about them. So it's not just church, not only politics, but you have entertainment as well. Leadership Magazine covers sports. During the period of World Cup, you know, African Cup of Nations, you find very deep analysis. You viewers of Uganda Catholic Television, when you read Leadership Magazine, you're bound to learn a lot, because unlike what we keep writing online on day to day, there's more depth, more focus, and we reach out to experts who matter on different topics as we analyze, as we write down the topics, as we write about them. I've covered the budget extensively, budget analysis, just before and after. I've been able to reach to now the current Bank of Uganda Deputy Governor, Professor Augustus Nwagaba. We reach out to people who really matter or who know the issues when we are writing about these things. But also with Leadership Magazine, it's not only those. Mental health has been a very big challenge in this country, and I have a background as a mental health advocate as well. So we've written, myself and other writers, because as freelance writers, they can assign to any other person to cover whichever topic. But I've also written about mental health. I've covered it extensively, especially when we celebrate World Mental Health Day in October 10th is the World Mental Health Day. So basing on the theme and giving what's happening in the country, the issues of drugs, alcoholism, the rehabs. So we've covered a lot to give so that readers can know much more about. So we have topical issues. We write about if there are issues of corruption, political prisoners. Besige has been covered extensively. We've introduced the other writers, people like Timothy Kalejira, who know a lot more and are able to go, deeper than sometimes people write on the surface and maybe afraid to talk about certain things. So myself, I've done a lot on the political arena, the analysis of budget. And also during the COVID times when things were really hard, many girls were getting pregnant, school, so it became a very big debate. So leadership doesn't shy away from such debates. I reached out to the a priest here from Uganda Episcopal Conference, Father Okello, to comment about what should be done, what the approaches and all that. So Leadership magazine has covered many, many issues from COVID times. And in the entertainment, before I forget, also before the director of leadership, before Father Carlos, was very passionate about issues of the LRA, peace. So a lot was done covering peace issues. Even the entertainment wrote about the entertainer, the musician called Geoffrey Oriema. If you get all copies, they might be very old copies, but you keep learning new things every time you get a copy, even if it's from 10, 15 years ago. When you read it, you get more perspective on things. You get a background of what things happen. Currently, there's been the issue of the Balalo. I've read issues of leadership 10 years ago, about 8. And there were issues of the Balalo was being covered in there. I was very, very surprised. So leadership has depth, extensive coverage. Issues of society. For example, if you want to know about why we are always late, they say we don't keep time, African time. There's a priest called Father Kanyike who gives very deep analysis on culture, why we behave that way. So when you get it, you're going to read many areas. You read culture, you read health. Even Dr. Kasenene, who some people find very controversial, used to have a column. So you read, what Dr. Kasenene used to write. And I think Dr. Miriam Lake, many issues of different kinds, mental health, cancer, and many areas. So the magazine is very rich, is what I'm trying to say in a nutshell, that it's so rich, you learn a lot. And the beauty with it is it's only 5,000, so it's very affordable. The magazine is, there are so many. I was surprised that one professor has written for leadership for over 40 years, Professor Bajire from UBS. He was the first girl president at Uganda Matters University. So if you keep getting those old copies, you're going to find articles by Professor Bajire, and you keep learning much more. Now the old copies, I tend to look up all copies. There's this one in 2008. You find an interview with Professor Sylvia Tamale, of now living Makerere University. She was there for a long time, very well known, did amazing contribution to academia, especially in law, a feminist. And you will find many, the issue of the drama of African immigrants. So you will find all these are varied issues, It's not when we come to Matters Day, of course, there's a lot of coverage on the matters, but that comes with many other, that's just one in-depth topic, but many others. And I wrote about, I like writing. Politics is something I really love. Last year I wrote about the NRM at 38. I reached out to the NRM spokesperson, so Emmanuel Dombo. And so you get to understand politics, you get to understand religion, and the religious aspects, of course, you have Father Nicholas, you have the editor herself writing, doing reviews of some of the encyclicals from the Vatican, and you get to learn many more. There's also music, there's a review of music. There's some other book reviews, so we have book reviews in the magazine. So it's a wide collection of things in Leadership Magazine. It's a magazine that you should really, you should really have it. It's really highly recommendable that you read it, because you get to learn so many things from many individuals, from others, experts. And so leadership is making a very big contribution. And with this partnership, we guess many more people will be able to access it, to get copies and read and learn a lot more. We talk about violence against women, domestic violence. It's a very big topic in this country, that we should respect women, we respect our mothers, our sisters. So leadership looks out for such things on, food security, the environment. We're talking about climate change, environmental issues. So we have the Laudato Si is in the Catholic Church, which the late Pope Francis, really championed. So Leadership gives it, Leadership magazine gives it wide coverage. So you know about your environment, you know about environmental issues, what are the ramifications if you don't take care of our environment. So you look, culture is broad. Why do we seem to not take our African culture seriously and embrace the Western culture much more? So, and one of the writers, Irene here, writes why the Western culture overshadows our African culture. And also the debate about the curriculum, education it's a very big aspect of our lives. So Leadership looks at schools, how are the children getting a good education, the debate around the new and old curriculum, what changes have been made, are they benefiting more, is it for the betterment, or are people being disadvantaged? So really it's a very wide thing that the Leadership looks at. The writers contribute many things. We talk about, I write about an opinion on the influence of technology, more specifically information communication technology, and then you narrow down to social media. What is it doing in our lives? So we tend to, the issues that affect society really, that it focuses on, and it's varied. It's not, of course we know that our spiritual matters are paramount. If we don't take care of it, if we don't know about our faith, then it affects our day-to-day living. So that has a very good, it's given a very good coverage on that. But other than that, you look at the military courts, the debate about military courts, which was on a few until it went to the Supreme Court. Someone here writes about why the state is so keen on it, and this is Timothy Kalejira. And yeah, you can learn much more. Sometimes these things come quickly and pass, so you may not understand so much what has gone on if you've not followed keenly. But if you get a copy and you read it, it gives you a background. It gives you an incisive analysis of issues. So you should really subscribe, read the Leadership magazine to get a good understanding of how things are panning out, what things are going on in the country and beyond, in this country and the region. So that's what I can tell you about the magazine. It's a must read, really. It's a very good paper magazine to rely on for entertainment, for education. You learn much more, and also you know what's going on in the Catholic Church, especially here at the Episcopal Conference. When there are events, they are covered. We have people going to events when there's a ordination, diaconate, or maybe priestly ordination, even bishops celebrating their episcopal being that time in the episcopacy. So the magazine covers such events. It gives events of the church are given importance, that they are covered. You may read it a bit later, but then you understand what's going on. You know what's going on in the church. This is how the 2021 looks, the coverage of the beginning. This was 2021. It can help you have a background on where we are going now, because I believe the Leadership magazine will be covering these elections very closely, watching what's going on and following everything up to date. And you have a deep analysis behind the scenes, what's going on from the different writers. And so with that, I think a Leadership magazine is worthy to get it, to subscribe, have a copy. Maybe you can even give to schools, donate to some schools, so that I've read that some priests were called to priesthood because they were inspired by what they read in the Leadership magazine. So it has stories of Combone missionaries, some of them. I think Father Izama, who is now in North America, who is head of the Combone there. You will get his stories that were published in the Leadership magazine. So it can be an inspiration and a call to many to get to the vocation of the church, to serve in different ways. The church is also not only priesthood, but many other aspects of the church are covered, like the Laudato Si, baptism, events at schools. It does arts and drama. You get this Dr. Danson Kayana writing on art issues. So you have things about nutrition, written about Crystal Kiseka, who's a columnist. You have the Dr. Paul Kasenene writing on health and wellness. And I've talked about Dr. Miriam Lake. Yeah, and priests, some people sharing their call to priesthood. So you get an array of things, many things that you can, get inspired in different ways. We've also talked to Patrick Kanyomozi, who is very big on sports. So we also reach out to, media personalities. We've talked to Dr. Spire Sentongo. If you get some copies, you read what inspired him. He's outside of what knowing him as a cartoonist. You get a deeper understanding of who he is, because you read, gives you a background, which schools he attended, and what it does. You know that beyond being a cartoonist, he's a lecturer, he's a professor actually. Then we've talked to Ogon. Ogon is the monitor cartoonist. So you may just read the paper, see the cartoons, but you may not know who he is. So Leadership magazines reach out to such personalities as Professor Spire Sentongo, Ogon of the Daily Monitor, Patrick Kanyomozi, who used to be at Daily Monitor and KFM. So you read about personalities, different personalities, people who matter, key players in this country. So Leadership magazine offers so many things that you will really benefit if you take time to read, subscribe. You learn much more. I'll not regret from reading the Leadership magazine. The Leadership magazine is for Christian leaders. But when you read the Christian leaders, you don't really have to be, you can be, anybody reads it and inspires you in your different ways. But the Christian leaders, of course, the background was given by the director when he spoke in the previous edition. But Leadership magazine is for anyone, really. Anyone who is interested in knowledge, who is interested in sharing. You can write your stories and they get published. And many people get to read. So I urge you to read the Leadership magazine. I urge you to subscribe and read and learn more. Thank you so much. My name is Jimmy Odoki Acellam. Thank you.